The last time I've ever seen a team full of role players work was the '04 Pistons. That's about it.
Yeah,
I
those
mean,
Nobody was a
Houston
real.
Rockets. Houston Rockets with Akeem and Dirk Nowitzki in
Dirk.
Dallas. You know, they won with role players, and I mean, however you want to. I mean, it's happened. It's not nothing spectacular.
Yeah,
Like,
but those role players were elite in a
in
specific
their role.
category that they did. They were elite at it.
And you still had Defensive Player of the Year Tyson Chandler.
Like
you
wait,
still had,
but hold on, but you said role players though. They still role play. The Dirk Nowitzki Mavs were role players.
I agree, but I think that when you are a star in your role, like Tyson Chandler, we know what he's going to do. He's going to rebound, rim protect, and he is really, really good at it, especially back then. You had Jason Terry, microwave, score, Jason Kidd, facilitator, get everybody together, coach on the floor. Like those dudes were stars in their role, and then they had the superstar. I don't think Miami has guys that are stars in their role.
It's the same squad.
No,
it's the same squad.
Listen. Wait, so and he put it in words better than I could. Right, the way that everything just fit perfectly. Yeah, there was role players in Dallas, but they were those were the roles that they were for them. Listen, Mel. Role players, you can't just throw a role player in and think that he's going to fill a certain role. You're a role.
What?
Listen. Maybe I'm wording this wrong, right?
Yeah, you definitely wording it wrong.
Okay, hold
on. Wait, because this is what you're doing. You made a statement and said, I haven't seen a team with one star and role players do X, Y, and Z. And
I didn't say that. I said a team of role players.
So this is the difference between
the Pistons had no star.
This is what? This is
the Pistons had no star.
All right, hold on. Let's stop. This is the difference between Miami Heat and the teams I named, right? One, Miami Heat has Jimmy Butler as the head of the snake. Jimmy Butler is not a superstar. Dirk Nowitzki is a superstar. So his role players around him and the role players around Hakeem is definitely a superstar. That's totally different. In Detroit, you did have a superstar. His name was Rasheed Wallace. He just played a role like Tim Duncan did. Like, we didn't know, like, just watching Tim Duncan play, like at least the last 5 or 6 years in San Antonio, it didn't look like he was a superstar because he played so much within the system. That's what Rasheed Wallace was doing. But when he was in Portland, he was definitely on the same trajectory as Chris Webber and Garnett and Tim Duncan. He just took a lesser role there in Detroit. So yeah, they did have a superstar. It was Rasheed Wallace.
I agree with that, but I cannot agree to say it's the same squad because what role player does Miami have that is elite in their role? I don't think they have one. Tyson Chandler was elite in his role. He was the perfect piece to put next to Dirk.
Bam's not.
He's too inconsistent.
Wait. Inconsistent doing what?
Offensively,
okay. But
if he goes 7 for 21, he does that on a consistent basis. Goes 7 for 21.
Okay, but you're giving credit for Tyson Chandler for just rebounding and defending, and he's not providing no offensive punch
because that was his role.
And it's also Bam's role.
Bam's role. The thing is, play on that team. He has to be consistent on both ends, and that's what he's not doing. Because Jimmy Butler is not a superstar, which I agree with. He's not a superstar that especially not to the magnitude of Dirk. I do agree with that, but I don't think because he's not a superstar, then Bam has to be more than just a Tyson Chandler. Yeah, that's his role. His role is more than that.
So basically, due to injury, because due to losing 20 points on offense from Tyler Hero, now Tyler Hero is not the number 2 scorer. You're expecting Bam to be it. So what if you had Dirk and who was the number 2 scorer? Maybe Jason Terry.
Probably
so if Jason Terry got hurt and we asked Tyson Chandler to give us 20 points that we're missing from Jason Terry, that's what you're expecting Bam to do.
That's not the same thing.
So he's not playing. He's not playing his role no more. The role that he's supposed to be in, he's not playing no more due to injury.
Listen, the Bam has showed us that he can be usable on offense. He has an offensive ability. He can shoot mid-range. He can post up. We've seen it before without asking for it.
That's not his role, though. But that's not his role. But that's not his role.
Hold on.
That's Tyler Hero's role. You're asking Bam to be a number
No.
2, and that's not his role.
Bam has been the number 2.
No,
Remember,
Tyler Hero's the number 2.
Tyler Hero
For offense, he's the number 2.
and this is Eric Spoelstra's fault because Tyler Hero was best when he was in his 6-man position.
Yeah, because he just won 6 Man of the Year a couple of years ago, so he was coming off the bench anyway. So
he was coming off the bench. That was but
Just like Jason Terry was coming off the bench, and he was still the number 2 scorer. Who was the number 2 for Dallas?
I don't know. I'm about to look it up though.
I mean, Jason Kidd was their point guard, but he was 1,000 years old, and you weren't relying on him for points. He was just running the team, right?
Yeah.
So your number 2 is the person that you're saying, if we can't get a bucket from Dirk, I need to go to this guy, and that was Jason Terry. So Jason Terry was the number 2. Who's the number 2 for Miami?
Do you think Bam is a better player than Tyler Hero?
overall, yes.
Probably, but I think Tyler Hero is the number 2 because he's the better scorer.
He's the better scorer. Yeah, I agree. He's definitely the better scorer. I just feel like once again, I think this goes back to Denver's construction. I think if you're going to have a guy, Jimmy Butler is not an elite scorer of the basketball, is what I would say. I think he's a great player, and I think he's a dog, and I think his will has overcame a lot of his skill or lack of. You know what I'm saying? So because what does Jimmy Butler do elite? Like, he's not a super duper athlete. He's not a knockdown shooter. He can get to the cup. He can draw fouls. He's tough. He's going to play on both ends. But because he can't be the skill guy, Dirk was a skill guy. We know that, right? And that's to your point, Mel. Like, Dirk was a skill guy. Jimmy Butler is not that. In the event that you are the second best player, you can't be relegated to number 3 because you are the second best player. You need to be, if you're gonna be good on defense, and then you got to be good on offense too, if you want to win a ring.
So but listen, so you just identified the problem. The problem is my number 1 is really a number 2.
Okay,
so that's the problem you identified. Jimmy Butler is a number 1, and he should be a number 2, and that would let Bam be in his natural spot as a number 3.
Hey, man, I said that
as a guy that's just defending and rebounding. My bad. Go ahead.
No, my bad. I said that on my show the other day, and people thought I was crazy. I was like, Miami don't have a bucket getter. They don't.
I mean, they do. No, Jimmy Butler is a bucket getter.
I'm talking about a KD, Kyrie bucket getter, certified getter.
Okay.
They don't have a bucket getter. And like you be like, hey, man, y'all just clear the way, move. Get that the hell out the way. They ain't got that. And I mean, we've already explained that Jimmy Butler is not that type of basketball player to just take over a game. Like, he can do it, but
he's done it.
No, he's done it. But I'm talking about, like, when somebody about to take a game over when they want to, and they just do it. They ain't got that. He's not.
And listen, listen, this ain't no Jimmy Butler hate train. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no. I rock with Jimmy. I
rock with Jimmy because he a throwback to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, his attitude and his mentality is old school. Like, I don't care. You might feel like you more skilled than me, but he's not a 3-level scorer. He can score in the paint. He can get to the cup. He can draw fouls, which is, I think, offensively maybe his best quality. Getting down to the paint, and he can find people too, but he's not a 3-level scorer.
His mid-range is good.
His mid-range is good. His mid-range is good. His mid-range is decent. But I think that especially what's being exposed a little bit in the Boston series and some in his last series is that if you take that away, just like we talk about LeBron, if he doesn't have the pieces around him to do the things that he needs to do, or if you say, I'm going to make him do this, then he can't do it, then that's what you need to in your number 1. And I just don't think he provides that. Because he's not a number 1, and then he's really a number 2, there isn't a guy who, besides Tyler Hero, but do you think that Tyler Hero being there would have changed the outcome of this series?
I think it would have been a little different if I think it would have been a little different. For sure. I mean, that's 20 points. That's another 3-point shooter. That's a threat. You know what I mean? That's somebody when Strus all of a sudden go 0 for 4, 0 for 5 from 3, I can rely on Tyler Hero, and he's just not a 3-point shooter. He also can handle the ball and also get to the cup. That's just another headache for Denver to have to worry about. Now that becomes issues on the defensive end for him.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up.
So that's the thing. But remember, you have to be able to defend and get on that floor for Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra, and that's why Duncan Robinson wasn't getting minutes. And you see Duncan Robinson out there defending at a high level, right? So
I see
he's
him
competing.
I've never seen him do before.
Yeah, so I would have loved to see Tyler Hero now, because last time we seen him in the finals, he was a rookie in the bubble, right? Performing. So yeah, whatever he lacked on defense as a rookie, I don't think it'll be that now. So I would have loved to see him, and I think we'll see him at some point in the series. But I love to see him out there, man.
Nah, this series gonna be done before he even get healthy enough to do it.
I thought that it was a possibility.
He's not practicing.
Well, I think his hand is good. It's the fact that they're probably trying to make sure his cardio and his conditioning is good. Because he been practicing.
If he's playable, I play him game 3. Honestly,
Game
even
4.
if it's game 4.
I mean, at this point,
they already ruled him out for game 4. And what I saw.
At this point it's like KD coming back from the Achilles. It's unnecessary, right? You're just risking further injury at this point. And if you so the way I look at it, right? You can go down the Nuggets roster. You got your 2 stars, your primary scorers in Jamal Murray and Jokic. You have your catch and shoot and wing defenders and Michael Porter Jr., KCP. You have your strictly just like defense on pretty much everybody in Bruce Brown, Aaron Gordon, Christian Braun even gets out there and defends on the perimeter. And then you got the veteran in Jeff Green. You can't name me anybody on the Heat squad